Hey guys, we're at Capital Audiofest once again, 2025. A year later, we're in the Lucca Chesky room. I know it's Chesky Audio, but technically, hey, his dad just brings the coffee and he's not even here right now. But we do have a third person in the room, my buddy Greg, who bought 2 pairs of Lucca speakers last year. And I've now turned them into an Advent stack. And I'm telling you, dude, your LC1s, when you stack them like that, it's not going to extend the bass, but
it'll definitely give some improvements.
It gives you a bigger soundstage. So yeah, you can spend $2,000 two ways, folks. Buy a pair of these kick-ass LC2s, which I just listened to, which already have the bass extension, and the better tweeter and the better woofer, which I'm going to let Lucca talk about in a little bit. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is, can I call you a melonhead now? Because he's no longer the 17-year-old kid that I interviewed a year ago. He's now 18. He's going to Mellon University in Pittsburgh. And once again, kicking ass and taking names, man. So, Lucca, let's talk about the evolution, how you went from LC1 to LC2, graduated high school, started university, and running a company all at the same time.
Yeah, so it's been one heck of a year. I remember it like yesterday. I brought the first built pair of LC1s to this show. It's the same room we're in now. Yeah, I set everything up, and it was just a hit success from the start. And it was funny because I originally came to Capital to get feedback to see, okay, how could I improve my design? Is this good? Is this not? Like, what will people think? And it ended up being a huge hit, and so many people liked it. So then it really propelled us forward, and then I started going to all the other shows throughout the year. I was fortunate enough to make it to the Munich High-End Show, which is the international show of the world with the LC1s, and that was really incredible. And so I really started the design process or thought process for this new speaker, the LC2, right around February of this year. Kind of saying, all right, we needed something to lead, to be the next version next year. What is going to be kind of worth doing and thinking about? So as the year progressed and more people loved and got to hear the LC1s, I took all of those things that really stood out with the speaker, which are its imaging, its resolution, its soundstage, and the bass, and brought it up to the next level. So yesterday was the first debut show of the LC2, and I'm really happy with how it came out. It's our second model in the LC line, and it is now retailing for $19.95 for the pair, opposed to for the $9.98. So I like to go LC1 is $1,000, LC2 is $2,000. But it still carries over that signature 3D printed construction. It's a 3D printed monocoque, dual wall high mass design for the cabinet. It's a mouthful to say, but it pays off and it works well.
I'm going to say one thing. I listen to my usual suspect of Chesky recordings that I like. Stuff I don't care how overplayed it is at the shows. I test it for vocal sibilance. I did the usual Spanish Harlem, graffiti jazz, and then Lucca introduced me to some new tracks. And also his sister's latest recording. And again, it's all his dad's recording stuff, which is with one stereo mic, or is he using like a dummy now?
No, so the dummy was for the binaural series.
Correct.
Now it's, for the newest stuff on the Audiophile Society, it uses a Bloomline ribbon.
Nice.
So that's what we use for the...
And he's doing direct-to-digital, right?
Direct-to-digital.
Nice. Because the thing is, as my friend Ben Taylor has told me over and over again, and Gus Guinness up in Colorado, it's not the technology, dummies. It's who's turning the knobs, setting up the mics, and that's where the magic is. And I've learned and heard that firsthand. So the other thing I was going to ask you about, Lucca, aside from the recordings and the Audiophile Society label that your dad's running, we're going to talk about how you went about building the speakers. All right, we're here with Lucca once again to explain the technology behind the LC2 speakers And at the same time, we're going to show you how we went from LC1 to LC2. And I'm going to let Lucca do the rest of the talking here.
Yeah. All right, guys. So this right here is our new LC2. So as you guys can see, we have the little brother, the LC1, which was the first speaker I developed, which launched last year. So the LC2 is it's the next speaker in our LC line. So we have the LC1, now we have the LC2. It retails for $19.95 a pair, and I really believe that the LC2 is going to be quite a statement in our industry, especially for what you're going to be getting at the price. So let's dive into that. So the biggest changes between this and the LC1 is, first off, it's much bigger. The cabinet is much larger, it's significantly heavier, and those are all going to add to improved bass, a more rigid cabinet, along with providing more space for more complex drivers, along with a more complex geometry on the inside. So another really big thing, as you might notice, we have a full 5/8 inch thick aircraft grade aluminum baffle that we get bolted to the front of this. Now, one thing that's really kind of interesting about this baffle, as you guys see here, we have our tessellation on the front, same as the LC1, but this is also machined into this baffle. So it's one solid billet that gets milled down, and then we get that bolted to our 3D cabinet. Now, this is the same kind of 3D cabinet as the LC1. So this is the same kind of 3D cabinet as the LC1. It's our 3D printed monocoque dual wall high mass cabinet, and that's really going to allow us to have an extremely thick and very dead cabinet, allowing us to control resonances and really have a low FS in the cabinet. Moving on, both of these drivers are new. So this is our new mid-range, mid-bass, and this is our new tweeter. Now this is really where the magic is happening in this speaker. So going to our mid-bass, our cone is a tri-laminate cone, and then we have a 3-inch polypropylene cap. The whole driver is a 7-inch driver, and it's a fully cast basket. So super high-end components in this actual driver buildup itself, which has allowed us to get an extremely rich mid-range along with really, really nice and very well-controlled bass. Moving up for our high end, we have a dual chamber, a periodic tweeter. Now this has allowed us to get an extreme amount of resolution gain, which is going to be also another large difference. The LC1 is just a little step down in terms of resolution and bass, and you're going to get a really nice chunk of that back once you go up to the LC2. Granted, the LC1 is $498 each, the LC2 is $997 each. So you are paying for that difference. We also have a new tessellation pattern for our tweeter, and this is, again, just to help break up the high frequency waves, so this becomes our first reflection, and it's going to soften it up before it leaves the baffle. Now, of course, we have a Chesky audio speaker. We are going to have our two signature sub-bass radiators on the side. Now, these radiators are the same as the LC1s. They're tuned slightly differently, but they are going to give us that effortless control on the low end. Something that has been stated with our debut review from the Absolute Sound was the amount of control that we have for our bass. Not only are we flat to 40 Hertz, but we have a significant amount of control in that low end region, something that a speaker of this size and price point is hard to find. Not to mention, we have the top end Kimber internal wiring on the inside of our speaker, so we're not compromising on our components, and you're still going to find those same quality components in speaker 5 times, 15 times the price of something like the LC2. This is a Chesky audio product, so everything is built by hand. Our driver is customized in-house, along with the total assembly of the cabinet and building the 3D unit. So from the ground up, this cabinet is grown in our factory, and it has allowed us to really deliver something that has, in my opinion, really been a good evolution of the past year of Chesky audio, a good reflection in my design, and I'm very happy with how it came out. It images, it has incredible sound staging, it has a great sound space, and like I mentioned, balls to the wall bass. So these are available now at cheskyaudio.com. The first production batch is available for order. It will probably ship between the early to mid stages of December, and then it should be ready to ship after that. So if you guys are interested, I'm sure there'll be a link below.
I'll make sure I've got links to both the LC1 and the LC2, and a link to the Audiophile Society. But most importantly, to paraphrase your dad's buddy. So Greg, what did you really think of these speakers when you heard them yesterday?
They're fantastic.
And what else did you tell me? You said the soundstage was so big.
Oh my gosh, the sound stage is amazing. The image amazing.
And what about the bass?
Oh, the bass is fantastic.
So yeah.
So you can't wait to hear these in Phoenix, right?
No, I can't.
Yeah.
In
We're
my
working
very
on it.
own
We're
audio shrine.
working on it. It's going to be a
Yeah.
club event,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
I'll have my new audio shrine by then.
I'll be the head idiot, idiot in charge.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
You'll spend more
Lucca, thank you once again
course.
for
Thank you for
spending
having
time
me.
with me. You know, it's been a year. Really proud of the work that you're doing, and you know, I'm sure the
Thank you,
press
guys.
is going to be in here. It's Saturday, so you know, the place is going to be, you know, going nuts.
Hopefully it'll be a busy day. I know
Yeah.
yesterday was a really fun show. I really
Yeah.
do like the Capitol Audiofest.
Yeah,
It's
for
very
me,
fun.
it's kind of like the home away from home. This and the Florida show; those are my two
Yeah.
favorites.
I'm looking forward to the Florida show as well. And in terms of kind of what we're running our system with,
Yeah.
we really catered to a not only all built in America system, but something that is really kind of attainable. So we have all shit audio electronics to provide a stack for us that, well, let's just say it's the shit. So
It is the shit.
it's provided some really nice sound, some great resolution and control on that low end, for a price that is pretty much attainable, and especially for the sound that you're getting, we can definitely compete with something that is punching at a much higher price range. So the LC2 punches way above its weight. Speaking of weight, these weigh 45 pounds, so if you buy them, make sure your bookshelves are rated for that if you plan on putting them there. So just wanted to preface that.
That's cool. And I'm going to basically say the same thing I said last year. Don't buy from the man. Buy local. Buy from young. We need more on young engineers in this hobby, because I'm starting to get up there, and you know, this is still the future.
So,
And I know one day there's going to be a floor standard, but I can't talk about it since last year because I'm sworn to secrecy and NDA, and he'd have to kill me if I, you know, but I've seen the prototypes, but I can't talk about it. Of course, I saw the prototype for this, and I had to keep my mouth shut. And I did. All right, guys, thanks again. Please come to room 859.
59.
There we go.
859. We'll be
Yeah.
here all day demoing the new
Yeah.
LC2s.
Saturday and Sunday, and yesterday, of course. All right, guys, bye for now. Like and subscribe. The Capitol Audiofest show, room
859.
Thank you. All right, guys. Bye for now.